Welcome to The Nutcracker, the Untold story, also known as Nutcracker 3D. This is a movie that is kind of infamous for being simply universally hated. Whenever I see a situation like this, I try to go in with an open mind and look for things to love even when the movie is a mess. I think it's easy to hate something just because everyone else says you should hate it, so I really try to give it the benefit of the doubt. In this case, unfortunately, there's nothing to love. The critics were right. The movie follows Mary, who receives a Nutcracker doll as a Christmas gift from her Uncle Albert. As in Albert Einstein. The figure of Drosselmeyer is replaced by the real-life physicist Albert Einstein. This is already a baffling choice. When I think Albert Einstein, I think more of the theory of relativity or the atomic bomb, and not really whimsical uncle whose enchanted toys come to life. And then the movie continues to make this weird by having Albert talk directly to the audience through the camera, but only sometimes, and he's the only character who can do that. And then they have him show up in the magical toy world for like 1 second with no explanation as to how. And they have him sing not only about his theory of relativity, but also about the magic of childhood. Oh yeah, this movie is a musical. But it's very easy to forget that. The songs are pretty sporadic, and they sometimes use the melodies from the original ballet, and sometimes don't. And I don't think a single song lasts over 2 minutes. The characters show up, sing like 2 verses, and then forget this is a musical too. Most of the sets look cheap, and when one of them manages to look impressive, it's still downright ugly. This is a gritty realism retelling of the Nutcracker, where the Rat King is burning children's toys to keep a permanent cloud of pollution surrounding his city, so everything looks ugly and gray and grimy and smoggy, and I don't want to spend any more time in this world. The Nutcracker himself is actually a young prince under a spell, but he spends most of the movie in Nutcracker form, and what an ugly little Nutcracker he is. He has these bulging round eyes and bald spherical head that makes him look like a messed up version of Roly-Poly-Oly. They gave him this annoying squeaky voice and an absolutely insufferable personality. It's straight up incomprehensible how Mary manages to grow fond of the guy. To make things worse, this movie is a feast of uncanny valley moments. Mouse people with scrunched up noses and terrible wigs, weird monkey guy in a suit, fleshy fingers attached to wooden hands, unhinged toothy jaws chewing through metal, giant toy dolls with soulless black eyes. They just sucked the whimsy out of everything and replaced it with nightmare fuel. You can't go 2 minutes without wincing at something creepy. The choices this movie makes are really confusing. The story is set in World War II times, or at least I guess it is, because Albert Einstein is there, but then they have the Rat Army dress and act like real-life Nazis. I don't think I can say the word on YouTube. Rat City is a place in the clouds, but also under the chimney, but you can also reach it through a mirror. There's this guy called the Rat King, but there's also the Rat Queen, but she's actually the king's mother. All of the toys come to life, but only like 5 of them have a personality. Under the care of a different movie, one which was guided by fun and play, these inconsistencies could actually be part of the enjoyment. But this is no such movie. It's trying to take itself too seriously, so when it presents us with a rather unserious concept, it doesn't spark interest, it just brings more frustration. The rules of the world are supposed to be dreamlike and work on emotions instead of logic, like how Mary can break the spell despite having no magical powers simply because she believed really hard, and I'm usually into that sort of thing. But here, everything else is so grim and mean and dirty that I could not get attached to this world. I had to finish this movie in 2 sittings because halfway through it, I was just that bored. I realized I didn't care for these characters or their struggles, even though I was trying to. It's not even a so bad it's good movie, it's just ugly and boring. Sorry I have to be mean to this one, I'm not usually one to do it. I try to find good things in movies and stuff, even when the stuff in question isn't my cup of tea, but I just couldn't get into this one. I've seen other people clowning on this movie online specifically because of how infamously hated it is, and I say, good. This movie is bad. I wish this story had remained untold to me.